Welcome to CoIEP, a multi-agent system that supports educators and IEP team members in creating and evaluating individualized education programs for students with disabilities. In this demo video, I'm going to show you two ways or two modes that educators and IEP team members can use to create the four core components of an IEP document, including the present level of academic achievement and function performance, PLAP statement, IEP goals with progress monitoring plan, specially designed instruction, SDI suggestion, supplementary aids and services, which will be focused on accommodation. Using either way or both way, including quick IEP and guided IEP, educators and IEP team members will be able to create legally compliant, standards aligned, and evidence-based IEP components that can better support the students' educational experiences. Quick IEP mode supports the creation and evaluation of all components at once. You can enter student information including name, grade level, disability category, state standards here. All 50 state standards are available here. You also have the option to upload anonymous student information documents or paste information here. But if you just want to try the system first, you can use sample student documents provided by the system. Let's try Ethan. For this demo, create IEP. And now the system is working on those components at the same time, but each component will be built upon each other. So for the PLAP statement, the system will use data either uploaded by yourself or the data that exists in the document, sample document, to create the content. IEP goals will be built by using information from the statement and will match the state level expectations because of the standards. Specially designed instruction, the system will use a validated database of evidence-based practices in specification to create instructional support and implementation steps that educators can actually use in the classroom. Supplementary aids and the services, as I mentioned before, will be focused on accommodation, so the team can have very concrete considerations or conversation around which accommodation work the best for the student. Now all components have been created. You and your team can review, evaluate, and revise each component. And you can do so by click on individual review window, and you can make edits to the component directly, and you can collaborate with the AI agent to evaluate this specific component. But you can do all the same things by going to the full editor mode as well. Now all created components, including original content and evaluation report, showed up in the individual windows. And you can also use the chat window here to have more conversations with the system agents in terms of how you want to revise each component or ask a specific question about IEP, evidence-based practices, and other information. Now let's go back to dashboard to try the second approach, guided IEP. For this approach, you can have three different options to interact with the system. You can try with the sample student data, you can create a new IEP using your own student data, or you can use evaluation function to review and improve your existing IEP component. So let's try with the example student data as we did before, and let's stick with Ethan. Let's drop Ethan's information into the system, and you can start with any IEP component, but we recommend starting from PLAP statement because PLAP statement provides information for other component. So here's the system will take you to the same similar individual work window for each component, and this is where you collaborate with the systems writer and the evaluator to make sure the information generated by each agent is accurate. And again, you can also use the chat function to ask more specific question about that specific component, and ask a question about IEP development, and ask a question about evidence-based practices. So this way, so you can make sure that each component meets your student needs or meets the IEP team's decision or expectation before you move on to the next component. But this offers you more flexibility in terms of which component you want to work on. So the system is still creating this PLAB statement, and then so the system will offer different options. So you can revise the PLAB statement again. So by put your specific request into the chat or into the window, or if you want to use the evaluator first to evaluate the component and then to use their suggestion to revise those components, you can do that as well. And you can follow the same procedure for IP goal and SDI. So you can create SDI without IP goals, but again, we recommend to work from PLAB statement, IP goal, and SDI suggestion. After you have finished with this documentation creation, you can go back to the dashboard. You can review the document. You can share this document with IP team members, including family members. You can also monitor student learning growth. We are still building this progress monitoring function, but it will be ready by end of March. So by then, you will be able to see the growth of student learning outcomes, and you can switch to another instructional practices if the student hasn't been able to show any growth. So that's how the whole system works, and I'm very excited for you to try it out by yourself. Thank you so much.